Very good morning, everyone. That was quite an enlightening session by Mr. Satish Marathe, where he shared some really wonderful perspectives on what is going around in the cooperative banking sector. What are the new areas of development in the cooperative banking sector? What is it that is required by this enormous number of packs in the cooperative banking sector, the enormous number of credit societies in the cooperative banking sector, and the enormous number of UCBs in the cooperative banking sector to come together and orchestrate an interesting strategy for inclusion for the people. When it comes to inclusion, one of the largest and the most effective thing that comes into picture is the digital transformation. We are in a digitally transforming world, and we have so many possibilities happening with the kind of innovations that are coming into the sector. There are a lot of fintech innovations coming in. The existing companies are also innovating in a big way. Analytics, cloud, security, RPA, these are some of the buzzwords that many of the people are listening to. Quite a lot of this are also alien to the cooperative banking sector as of today, but the sector is slowly innovating, the sector is slowly leapfrogging. There are a lot of difficulties when it comes to the legal, when it comes to the technology, when it comes to the people, and at the same time, harnessing all this is also quite important. Let us learn from this wonderful luminary panel today, comprising of our moderator, Mr. Yusuf Linwala, who is the IT advisor at Saraswat Bank and has been a noted IT advisor for quite a lot of cooperative banks in his last 20 years of association with the cooperative banking sector. Welcome, Yusuf, to lead the show. So, along with Yusuf, we have got Aarti ji. Aarti Dole is the Chief Information Officer of Cosmos Bank, which is the second largest cooperative bank in the country. So, we have the largest, the second largest, and the third largest bank with us. So, Aarti ji, welcome to this entire conversation on digital transformation. Uh, we also have Mr. Santosh Mohile, who is the head of IT at SVC Cooperative Bank, the third largest cooperative bank, urban cooperative bank in the country. Santosh is also from a very interesting technology background with leading names like Infosys behind him in his career. And now he heads the third largest cooperative banking company, which has got a very strong tradition of cooperative banking behind it. Uh, Welcome, Santosh, to this interesting conversation.
Thank you.
Uh, we also have Vishal Rathod, who is the Chief Information Officer of NKGSB Bank. Again, a very noted, forward looking, technology savvy bank. We have tried to make sure that we have all the gems of the cooperative banking sector when it comes to technology implementation and understanding with us in this conversation. Vishal, welcome to this wonderful conversation. Another interesting person I would like to introduce you to is Mr. Bhaskar Rao, who is the AGM IT. He heads IT at Vasai Vikas Bank. I know Bhaskar for past 15 years at least when he has been into the field of IT. I don't know before that as well he has been quite into IT, but for 15 years we have been always in touch. Thank you very much, Bhaskar, for making it for this conversation. And he has been a medium bank, but very well run IT setup in this bank. We look forward to knowing more from your learnings, Bhaskar. And last but not the least in this panel is Suhas Patil of Infosys Pinnacle. Suhas is also an industry veteran. He has spent quite a number of years in Pinnacle, prior to which he has also been handling cash management, treasury uh, at audit at various interesting companies across India. So, Suhas, welcome to this interesting conversation. You have been empowering a lot of banks, and many of these banks seem to be your customers also. So, you must be really smiling. Uh, so, Yusuf, Over to you for a leading of this conversation. You have to unmute Yusuf.
Okay, sorry. I think I was muted by the system. Thank
Yes.
you, Babu, for the introduction of the session and of the panel. So it makes my task easier because I think the expectations are very clear uh, to the participants of this panel discussion. And I think it's a very important panel discussion on digital transformation. And I think, because digital transformation is a top priority on all banks, and because driven by the prospect of innovative transformation by new technologies and leveraging those new technologies, banks are sort of engaging in digital transformation initiatives and which are focused on new business processes, services, competitive strategies, customer interactions, and so on. So in short, digital transformation is equal to change multiplied and amplified by technologies. Now, to give you a more sort of comprehensive uh, definition of digital transformation, there was one proposed by a senior analyst from MIT, and he said that digital transformation marks a radical rethinking of how an organization uses technology, people, and processes to fundamentally change business performance. And if you go back to the 90s, we talked about BPR. BPR, this is nothing but implementing technology to do business process reengineering in a sense. Okay. So if you want to think of it in a different way, when if you go back many years, when the earlier cartoon films were produced by Disney in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s, the method of of doing the cartoons was essentially hand-drawn cartoons done by a huge team of artists, and then uh, using cameras to show the film on a larger format. All that has changed now, because now you use high-end computers, you use digital technologies, you use for creating the immersive user experience. And as a result of this, the manual has been transformed to a digital format, as a result of which hundreds and thousands of films are produced, better quality films are produced, the experiences are better, and as a result of which there is a greater degree of adaptation, the greater degree of acceptance by the customers. So imagine today if Disney was to use a pencil paper format for uh, doing cartoons. So similarly, many businesses today are adopting newer technologies for doing this, and digital transformation essentially is appending that. So Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, had very succinctly summarized the common vision of digital transformation for the world's top CEOs: the desire to use digital technology to change business outcomes. Okay, so in our panel today, we would like to obviously explore how digital transformation strategy is created, articulated um, within the organization, and how it is implemented, and what are some of the challenges that we face as we go along the journey for digital transformation. So some of the factors that this disruptive impact would have obviously is driven by the fact that our customers have become disruptive. The demands from customers have become disruptive. The expectations from our shareholders and stakeholders have become higher, much higher. There are disruption from new players, who are starting off with no baggage. I mean, most of the banks here are more than 50, 60, 70 years old. So we carry a lot of baggage. And therefore, for us to transform obviously comes with its all inherent challenges which are there. And there are disruptions of employees because we also need to hire new employees who expect an environment which is tech savvy. Otherwise, we don't get the best people. So, keeping that factor in mind, I would like to obviously, since we have several banks who have actually implemented some of these strategies. Maybe we can start with Aarti to tell us how far has the bank traveled in the journey for digital transformation now, and what are some of the hurdles and opportunities you have observed as the CEO of the bank, which you have overcome to be able to address some of these challenges and leverage some of the benefits of digital transformation?
Thank you, Yusuf.
You'll have to switch off one of the devices. Yeah. Yes, go ahead. Now you're clear.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, absolutely. Please.
Yeah, thank you, Yusuf. I will first like to thank Babu Nair and Banking Frontier for giving me an opportunity to be the panelist. And yeah, as you said, Yusuf, the digital transformation is the buzzword today, and uh, it is changing the total banking industry as well as the financial sector. So what we can think about the earlier banking is done in a traditional way, and banks were adding the digital products. You can say the digital products are a technology leveraging how we can provide the services to our bank to our customers who are banking with us. So it is just adding digital product to our journey, and then bank were trying to put the experience that how the banks are giving the technological services to the customers. But then the era come that user has demanded lot of things, and the user were more focusing on the experiences that are expected from the bank. So there had to be a digital transformation. So last 4 5 years, the shift has changed from the digital product to the digital transformation, and it's now become a necessity because the banks have to strengthen the customer engagement, and they have to be on the personalized offering to the customers. So it has become now the necessity, and also the banking paradigm has changed due to the several factors. We can say the external factors which are regulatory change or consolidation, then competitive forces that are driving the banking industry, then changing customer expectations, and the technological changes that are actually every now and then coming into the industry, that is impacting. And now COVID-19 is another factor that is driving the total banking industry as well. So let me talk about a story of JP Morgan Chase. A few years back, JP Morgan CFO Marin Lake has announced that they are now a technological company. So they have invested around 40,000 people into the company who are creating the technologies and intellectual properties for them. They also invested $9 billion into the investment into the technology, as well as around $2 billion into the cyber security. So why such a company is required to spend a lot of in the tech? Because the company needs to meet the demands of the customer. So they want to create a technological experience, and they want to make their employees also aware of how the technology can lead the banking. So in that sense, they have invested in the technological aspects. The challenges which we are facing in the banking industry, like if you are where the expectation of the customers are rising, and they are increasing their transactions, there there is a declining of the branch traffics. Branch traffic are declining due to the bandwidth requirement. Then there is a surging competitions in the non-financial of the non-financial players in the sector. Also, there is a regulatory pressure from the regulatory authorities like RBI, IBA. So all these things are leading to the challenges to the banking industry. So we have to be on the digital transformation in the banking and financial services, which will lead the certain characteristics for the digital transformation. So these characters I will just touch upon because it is very much necessary that we should have a collaborative kind of a approach from the organization. So everybody in the organization should have a shared vision and a vision which will be derived to the digital transformation. Then we will have to have the cultural aspect on the digital transformation because if you are thinking traditionally, it doesn't mean that you will be able to cope up with the digital transformation. You have to think in a traditional way. So
I'm sorry, we can't hear you, Arti.
Let us move on to the next question till the
Okay,
time is back on
right.
the.
So, we had an
yeah,
interesting.
sorry
Sorry,
for
okay,
the
go ahead. Yeah,
disturbance.
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. And then you have to have the cloud based approach. So you have to be agile in the adapting the technology. You can't say that today whatever I am offering tomorrow it will be the same.
Let's move on to Santosh or Bhaskar for the second question because we are also up with time, Yusuf.
Yeah. Okay. So, maybe perhaps I could ask Bhaskar, to step in and uh, explain to us some of the key digital drivers that are working for the cooperative banking business, and also, in the current context, how has COVID impacted some of this, and how has COVID perhaps accelerated some of these transformations? So maybe Bhaskar can give us his views of what they have done in Vasai Vikas. Bhaskar?
You're on mute, Bhaskar. Bhaskar, you are on mute.
Hello,
Good morning,
Yes.
everybody.
Yeah.
Good morning, Yusuf.
am
Good
I
morning,
audible?
Babu.
Yeah. We will continue with Bhaskar Artiji, then we will come back to you.
Babu, thank you very much for the presentation. Yusuf, I would say that I am there in the industry from last almost 16 years. Almost 16 years, I joined the banking industry from 2004 onward. Earlier, I was into technology, and particularly in the e-commerce industry. I was basically looking after e-commerce industry, rolling out new product and how the entire technology used to work on that time. I was basically into that, totally in a different environment altogether. It's not like this today. What we have in the e-commerce industry, that segment was altogether different. Because today we have Amazon, Flipkart, so many people have come out. But when I joined the cooperative sector, trust me, Yusuf, on that time there were only I think three banks. Three banks, if I'm not mistaken, Cosmos, Bharat Cooperative, and Kapoor. These three banks were in the CBS. Then I have seen the entire segment. I traveled also many places, and I could find how these banks are going to survive in the such a technological revolution, because which is going to happen as per the RBI's vision document, Vision 2020 document, which RBI had come out with. It was really surprising because these people technologically they were very weak. Technologically, I would say very weak. The people, because basically they are from the banking background and they are associated with the social networking, connected with the social networking. So it was difficult for them. Then I found out the revolution in the entire cooperative sector. It was amazing, really. I must appreciate the entire sector for this. The way they have moved it from the traditional banking to the present day of technology banking. It's amazing, amazing journey for me. I must hats up to all the cooperative bankers really. Really, it was a great journey. I would say today, when we talk about digital technology, it is altogether different. We are when we are talking about technology, we are not like private sector. Private sector, they are having money, they are having technology people, they are having all kind of resources they have. But the same thing is not with the cooperative sector. In corporate sector, we have a lack of a lot of things. You talk about people, you talk about technology, you talk about resources. We have so many things are there in the corporate sector. But in spite of that, the entire sector has rolled out from the traditional banking to the today's banking. It is altogether amazing. Really, it was very great. When we talk about digitization, digitization comes to not only for the payment segment. When we are talking about digitization, we talk about payment sector. कि payment section में हमने क्या किया, right? We talk about that कि हमने payment में क्या किया. When you talk about digitization, you look at private sector banking and cooperative banking. We are largely stuck to mobile banking, rather IMPS. We talk about UPI because some of the banks are connected, not all banks, but many banks are connected in the UPI. Then we talk about what you call NFS and all these things. But when it comes to digitization, you have to migrate your entire sector. You have to think in a different way altogether. That is definitely lagging behind. In other words, if you talk to if I say the digitization in the sense not only for the payment, we have presently we have UPI, we have IMPS, we have so many segments we already have. But are we actually digitizing our own product, which is required in the current scenario, which is required in the current scenario, digitize your own product also. You have to go to market, you have to tell people, "Ki this is my product. And those things have to be digitized in the current scenario. That is definitely has to be, which is definitely most of the banks doesn't have, barring a few banks which are there right now. Second thing is that using of social media. Cooperative banks are not using that much for social media. Social media is having a far reachability, huge reachability. It can go to any length, anywhere it can go around. That is one area where cooperative banks has to work on it, and they have to go on the social media to explore the possibilities of that. Another thing is that the AI. AI, analytic intelligence, which is again a very useful tool for the banks because many private banks they are using it. So, simple example: suppose I visited one of the apps, private bank app, and I've gone to the say loan just to see what is the loan, what is they are offering, and what is the process they have, and what rates they are offering, what could be the EMI. I just gone to that, disconnected. Within few minutes, trust me, the phone will come. Sir, you are searching for the loan, isn't it? If I'm wrong, please correct me. Yes, they will call me. You're searching for a loan. I said, yes, I'm searching for a loan. But see, these kind of technology in the cooperative banking has to lead. See, every time we say कि हम लोग cooperative banking है हमारे लिए ये possible नहीं है वो possible नहीं है, that is gone days. When I said 2004 and 2011 is a huge difference. The entire sector is changed a lot. The entire sector is changed. It's a huge difference. Today we have all kind of technology, and even the banks which were thinking कि ये हमारे लिए possible नहीं है. Even those banks are offering IMPS. Those banks are offering UPI. Those banks are offering. If they don't have internet banking, they are offering internet for the viewing purpose. Today the scenario is changed. You see, everything is banking on the move. Banking on the move. It is not possible. You are sitting anywhere. You should be able to access the banking technology. That is what things are to be added. And you said another thing about COVID-19. I think it's a boon for the cooperative banking. What I would say, really, I would say it's a boon for the cooperative banking that really added the cooperative banking to move to the digital channels. And many banks have worked on it, and many banks have really worked on it, and they are giving all sort of payment system. Because if you don't give such technology, then you will be out of it. It will be difficult for you to sustain in the industry. That is definitely it is there. And many banks have given. They talk about UBI, you talk about mobile banking, you talk about any other things. Another thing, what I would say, is cooperative banking because we are reaching in the far areas of the country to move to remote areas of the country. And many banks might be having the payment technologies. may not be having a payment technology. I would say like colleges, schools you talk about, institutional payments you talk about. That was really a boom for the cooperative industry because in the pandemic, people were not able to go and make the payment physically. This was one of the area where we should think on it because payment integration is definitely a need of the hour. Like schools and colleges, the entire payment in the past 1 year is everything on the digitized. Everything is digitized, everything online payment, everything is digitized. That is one area we should think on it. We should collaborate with the bank, with the colleges, with the schools, wherever we are reaching. Anywhere you talk about from Tamil Nadu to Kashmir, we have every location. Our cooperative banks are there, so we can go to them. We can help them how they can digitize their payment system, how they can collect the fees from the student, from the whatever you talk about. We can talk to that. This is one area I would definitely say.
Thank
Anything
you,
if
Bhaskar. Yeah.
Let's get into
Yeah.
the next point
Yeah,
because
thank you,
otherwise-
Bhaskar. I because I think we are sort of
Yeah,
clocking. Unfortunately, with this environment, we have no option but to be specific to time, and we don't have the luxury of extending the time. So,
the system
pardon me.
actually streams
Yeah,
in time.
yeah, pardon me for interjecting, but Santosh, we're talking about investment, infrastructure. A lot of us have made investments in huge infrastructure already or in the past. How is the existing infrastructure and the existing core banking, for example, driving our digital transformational activities, and what do you think is required to accelerate technologically, as a platform to build around the existing infrastructure, as it were, rather than breaking it down and rebuilding the whole thing. So your experiences from perhaps SVC.
Yeah. So thanks, Yusuf, and good morning to all. Yeah, I think the topic is so interesting that everybody wants to put in their views and contribute a lot to this topic. Yeah. So digital, in my opinion, is a journey, adoption journey. And why I say journey, because it is constantly evolving. We cannot say today what we are doing may not change tomorrow. And that is also landscape of your technology is also changing. So how do we adopt to this changing landscape of technology, and what are the components of the architecture? Because it is very, very critical to make sure that whatever services in form of digital we are offering to our end customers, our partners, and our business correspondents, it has to be very stable, secured, and given a consistent experience to the end user. So talking about architecture, there are two terms which are very commonly used. One is system of records and systems of engagement. So talking about systems of records are your core systems, more of it of the core banking, which is your accounting engine in a traditional way. And systems of engagement are the touch points like your channels, your ATMs, your e-banking, mobile banking, POS, Visa payment systems, which are taking your digital initiatives, your products to the masses. Now, all these have to connect to your end systems in the architecture. You talked about the systems which we require to be at the core banking side. Traditional core banking was looked upon as more of an accounting system doing MIS, regulatory reports, etc., etc. But with digital kicking in, the expectations are now different. Your core banking also has to be digitized or be adaptable to digitization because it is more open now. It is talking about API integrations, being open to partners via API gateways, taking in different protocols, and all this is now forming a layer above that accounting layer. So whenever we are changing a core banking system or we are upgrading our core banking system, these points are very critical to make sure that what is your vision on your digital roadmap and how your core banking is going to support your initiatives in this journey. Because if they are not in sync, then you will have issues. Talking about how do we accelerate digitization, in my opinion, there are 4 critical points which everybody follow. One is people meaning people skilling, people's mindset to change, to adopt. Then processes are very important. We talked about BPR, business process re-engineering, which has to go hand in hand with any digital change which happens in your organization or the bank, because typical processes and digitization of that process requires a process change. So people, processes. Third is, in my opinion, is the technology, which is the platform which you adopt. It could be cloud, it could be PaaS, SaaS, API gateway. These are the platforms which are available for you to give your digital technology to the people. So people, processes, technology, and last and very important is partnership. So I believe the innovation is the key to digitization. And this innovation can be brought in by doing partnership with fintechs and new players who are bringing very innovative solutions and helping banks to roll it out to their customers. Also, partnership with the regulators, because we require guidance from their side on how do we proceed, what are the limitations. In fact, just a few days back, a working committee was formed for digital lending. So some guidance will be coming on that, because a lot of options are happening on digital lending space, and also from the community, which is the users. So banks, like cooperative banks, within themselves, they should form a group and share their ideas and take next steps. So these people, processes, technology, and partnership is something which we can take as a framework to take digital and accelerate this entire process. Yeah, that's all from my side.
Yeah, excellent. I think you hit the nail on the head, and I think without any of these four components, it is impossible to architect, your whole journey, because you need all the four components equally. And so from a perspective, Vishal, of NKJSP, because NKJSP has transformed very recently from a technology perspective by changing the core banking and then moving in the direction that we are talking about. So the how do you how did NKJSP, for example, segregate between what needs to be replaced versus what needs to be tweaked, within the digital transformational journey? And also, perhaps, if you could very briefly touch upon maybe emphasis on security also, because security plays an important role in the underlying architecture. How did you invest in that and build a secure platform as a result of this?
Hello. Thanks, Yusuf. Good morning, everybody. I hope I'm audible.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So, sir, I have a little different point of view here on digitization. I feel that there is no cookie cutter approach that we should be using, where one shoe fits all kind of a strategy. We have to be very careful about choosing what technology should we adopt and what we should not adopt. So I feel that over digitization should also not be done. We are cooperative banking sector, so we have to look at our customer base. And one thing which is unique in cooperative banking sector is the personal touch that we give to our customers. So I do feel that digitizing everything would obviously doesn't make sense. That's what my opinion is in the cooperative sector right now, as of now. Second, I'll come to the point in the interest of time. What needs to be tweaked and what needs to be replaced in the digital strategy? I feel that whatever is working, you make it better. So you don't need to change it. You can make it better. You can enhance it. Something like the digital channels that we are having right now, the mobile banking, internet banking, they are essential nowadays, and it needs to be tweaked or enhanced or keep on making it better. So these are the set of things that needs to be tweaked. And the other things which needs to be replaced, I would say that things which are not making sense in your long-term strategy, which are high cost incurring elements, that those things we need to change. So for example, in NKJSB, recently we changed our MPLS network with the SD-WAN network. So the major benefit that we derived out of it is obviously the cost saving that we got. And also SD-WAN technologies network uptime is much better than the MPLS network. That is because obviously MPLS is, that's the way it is architected, the MPLS network connections. So these are the few points which I would like to say on what needs to be tweaked and replaced. Another thing is the security part. Cyber security has become essential, obviously because of the more digitalization that we do. Our attack surface is increasing. It is becoming more and more. So obviously the cyber security is also becoming very important. we have invested a lot. In fact, I would say the major budget, up to 60% of our budget is going towards cybersecurity. That itself speaks, how much focus we have on the cybersecurity part.
That's
So
right.
yes, so these are my viewpoints in short.
Thank you very much. Suhas, from an Infosys and let us say from a partner perspective, and I think it's a very important partner to the whole process of digital transformation, because 4 out of the 5 panelists, 3 out of the 4 panelists here are your customers, if I'm not mistaken. I think, 4 out of the 5 panelists are your customers. And we're very happy to hear about Babu saying that you do cash management. So we are hoping that some of the cash comes back to us as a result of the investment that we've made with Finacle. But how do you see organizations in the cooperative banking sector perspective looking at the new digital possibilities? What is your view as a partner?
Yes, thank you very much, and pleasure to talk with all the esteemed panel, and happy to see like all my customers here in this forum. Very interesting seminar where we talk about Hello Digital. We have come a long way. To be very simple, the first time we heard digital when we talked about year 2000, and now then it became the banner for everyone that 2020. So that is where the whole digital words started coming in, the numbers started coming in, the vision started coming in when everyone spoke about 2020. All the IT company, all the banking sector, everyone were talking about vision 2020, how to engage better to the customer, what best services, what best products each company will come, and everyone was talking all around the story. And then a lot of learning to came at that same time when COVID came. We took a pause. We just revisited our strategies, our product and roadmap, and then yes, 2021 again we are back with the new normal. So what was change was like using the basic stuff, like using the basic hygiene, what we learned in COVID, hand wash, social distance, or just keeping the same. In technology, we started talking the same language. Okay, use digital, go more digital. Cash was to a limit, and all the product services started coming around the customer with the same norm, like the COVID norms, like do not share your password, do not use the best of the security, use the channels basically. So when it comes to our cooperative bank sector and what it happened, the change basically, and what company like Infosys started reworking, and already in this theme, we started offering in the digital format to our customers, to our end users, is offering services in terms of the digital was the e-banking. We got the best of the mobile banking solution. We are working on the new RPA project, chatbot. Then in terms of the system, the key was like how to engage better in using the technology platform by giving a better UI, how the software should be in terms of your application development server, using the best of the database, use the foundations of the software basically. So give a choice of open API, give the customer service like 24/7, allow them the real-time processing, allow multi capabilities and scalabilities, use the GUI, avoid the customization. So these are the things which we started talking and offering. So what we could do and leverage, like the large and other PSU banks could leverage Finacle software in lot of terms, in terms of giving the product innovation, using the robust foundation. They could give innovative services to them. But even the cooperative bank, what we could see, they went in a simple steps like, okay, offering the channels basically using the omni-channel.
Sorry to interrupt. 30 seconds more.
Yeah. So at Finacle, we have come with a cloud solution, very simple, good solution to offer on a per month basis kind of thing. So they can leverage Finacle to the end user customer, giving good services using e-banking, mobile banking services, giving the digital lobby services, okay, chatbot, RBI, and of course, a lot of things around the business and analytics area. So multiple offerings are there, and very interesting products offering to the customer, and the banks are available at Finacle at a very, very reasonable price and a good offer, sir.
Thank you, Suhas. I think very insightful. Of course, reasonable price is a matter of perception and interpretation, but that we'll leave to another discussion. But the important thing is that whether we take these initiatives, I think digital is here to stay, and there is no denying that the benefits of digital transformation will eventually pay off in all the banks. So thank you very much. I think you've been a great panel, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Yusuf. Before you end, there are a couple of things that I would like to, highlight to this panel also. Is that one is how can the industry as a whole? I think Santosh mentioned some interesting initiative. How the industry can share the patterns of fraud, how the industry can share its learnings together in a forum together. So there is something like this, umbrella organization which the NAFTA is forming. And under that, if some of the forward-looking CIOs come together, I am just talking to NAFTA, which we can form a small panel of good forward-looking CIOs who want to share their knowledge with the industry and also help the overall segment prosper to share the pattern of fraud like FS ISAC, which is a body in the US does. I'll share you some videos of that. It would be happening for everyone in the industry because ultimately you need to build trust when it comes to digital. Without trust, there is no digital. So how can we build trust? How can we build scalability? How can we build security? How can we build a robust infrastructure for the industry is what we need to work out. Technologies are always there, but how beautifully it cannot be Intel inside but idiot outside. It will not work. So you need to have the right kind of people also to implement these technologies. And of course, as leaders, all of you who are there in the panel have always been doing it interestingly. Let us spread it to others in the industry and help others also so that we can build a strong cooperative banking ecosystem.